Okay guys, so in this video we're going to export two animation files out. So when I open this file up from the last time I animated it, if I hit play, you'll see both animations are happening in succession. Okay. Now I want to explain some things to you guys about how Unreal and Unity view animations. Now if I come over here to this contact frame, see this contact frame inside of Unreal. If I export this out as is, we go into Unreal, the programmer is going to have to create a flag at this point to say when the animation makes contact, or if contact, something like that. If contact, then hold this pose for 5 frames, or for whatever the delta time frame count is. And then, if not, then just play animation. So if miss, right? If I miss, then he's just going to come back and basically return the pose. Let's go ahead and rewind this all the way to the beginning. So I go all the way to the beginning. And I'm also going to be moving some stuff around. So let's go ahead and add 15 frames to this in my time configuration since I'm already here. So I'm currently at 105. Let's go ahead and add 15, which is going to put us at 120. Okay, so if I select everything, I know that when I made this animation last time, I broke it down into 3 component parts. I have basically punch 1, and I start at 20, and I move into starting from the end of punch 1, and I move into punch 2. Okay, and then the next part is I just put them all together, just to show you guys what it would look like together. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take frame 50, and we're just going to move this all the way to the end. I'm basically moving it over 20 frames. This way I have room to play with over here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do time configuration again, and I'm going to end at frame 60 this time. This way I just have, I'm focusing on my front animation. And now you'll notice that when I start at frame 0 and I move from 0 to 15, you'll notice there's no pause in my animation. So frame 5 just continues to move through frame 7, okay? But what we want to do is we want to install a frame gap, what I consider the contact frames. So we're going to go ahead and select everything all the way up to frame 5, or everything except for frame 5. So we have to know that there's a 2 frame gap between frame 5 and frame 7. So we're just going to move this 5 frames. If you look in the bottom left hand corner, it says 67 entities selected, moving keys from 7 to 12. All right, which is 5 frames total. I'm also going to select frame 5. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to drag it 5 frames. And that's it. But I don't just want to drag it 5 frames. Frame 5 still counts as a frame. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only want it 5. So we're going to select all of it and then move it back 1. Now, now you'll see that there's a pause between frame 5 and frame 9, and it's going to register like this now. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to play the second animation. That's okay, you guys get it. Alright, so we're only going to want to export this animation out. Now, I'm going to go to frame 19 in my time configuration. Alright, and I only want to see, whoops, not 190, but 19, my bad. And I only want to see this animation in total. So here we go. And when he extends, does he hold? He does hold, okay. Now, let me explain the difference between exporting in Unreal versus exporting in Unity. So, exporting this for Unity, what I can do is I can export this character all at 19 frames, and I can chop it, and I can chop animation from 0 to 5, from 5 to 9, and then from 9 to 19. I can chop all of that inside of Unity. I can do it inside of Unreal, but it's a little trickier to do that. So it's actually a little easier for me if I exported each of these separately. So for Unreal, we'll do that in another video. I don't want to tackle that right now. We're just actually going to focus on Unity. So from 0 to 5, from 5 to 9, and then from 9 to 19. So let's just go ahead and export this out. File, export. We're going to export this attack. Hit save. All right. I'm going to open up my advanced options, units, turn off automatic, make sure our animation is on, and turn on smoothing groups. And now we have successfully exported this attack for for Unity. We're going to go ahead and export attack number 2. So let's go ahead and we're going to have to make some changes in attack number 2, because what I don't have, I basically am starting attack number 2 at this state, but I want to get some transition in here. Like, there's another reason why I create this gap, and what I call this is window of opportunity. So let's say the player presses the button one time. Well, if the player doesn't actually make contact with the enemy, we call that an if-then statement, right? So if contact, then, pause. If contact, then pause. If no contact, if contact's false, then no pause and just play to the recovery animation. That's basically how that works. The window of opportunity is here that says, well, what if the player presses the button again, a second time? Well, that means we have to create a window for them to hit that button again a second time. It becomes a little bit more technical now, but it doesn't turn into a button mashing game. So if pressed in this, then play attack number 2. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create this window of opportunity. We're going to expand this over here like so. We want to see the next set of animation. Remember, I said we're going to stop at frame 60. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move all of this, and we want to start. Now, my frame 25, I had made a mistake where I ended it, and that's okay. We'll just fix it now. So what I want to do is I want this from 5 to 12. And what we're seeing right here is actually frame 12. So let's go ahead and move this over 7 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And we're going to grab from 5 to 12. We're going to hold shift and drag it to frame 25. All right. Whoops, my bad. So let's slide it over. I missed something here. Okay, actually, is that right? Let's do that one more time. Cool. So what? Yeah, it's got to go at frame 25. So you'll notice that what I did was at frame 12, it's actually going to overwrite this frame 32. It's the same exact frame anyway. So let's hold shift again, end it on frame 25. And so now when I play the animation out, it's going to look like this. Okay, so let's hit play. We're going to actually move this to frame 25. Let's move this time configuration to frame 25. We have to anyways when we're going to export this out. And so you'll notice we've got a 5-frame window of opportunity here. So if I hit play, he's holding that pause for basically 5 frames. He's holding that punch pause. And then he goes into the next animation. Now we can capitalize on this later. But I also want to change this recovery time, I think, because we also have to watch this contact here. So let's go ahead and change this. We're going to go to this time configuration. I'm going to make this 130. Why? Because I know I changed all of this here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames holding here. Okay, so let's go here. We're going to have to move this 7 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and we're going to copy this. Just count the first frame as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we're holding. Oh, look, we got a little continuity faux pas here. So let's go to frame 39. Let's select his right arm. Go to our animation tab. Look, there's no continuity. So if you open up key info, TCB, just put a right click on this elevator over here for continuity 0. Let's check this over here and do the same thing. Let's check it again. Okay, he's totally static. And he's leaving. Okay, so now what about this over here? So I changed some configuration of time over here. And he's still doing that twirly arm thing. That's funny. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out what's happening here. Okay, so at frame 45 he sticks. Again. He gets launched up, and then frame 53 he screws up. So let's go ahead and take his arm and change the animation time codes, put it on local axis. Let's chamber. Excuse me, guys, one moment. Oh, okay, never mind. There we go. I see. So it's transitioning from the chamber already to his upper arm. It just decided to go backwards instead of going this way with it. So let's just go ahead and create that halfway point. There we go. All right, so what we have here is we have a 5 frame burst. So 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So he's basically facing 180 degrees in the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's just check it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dun, 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 dun. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pattern match. So basically he's going from here to here, and I've got this transition happening. So let's go ahead and select our whole guy. And I'm just going to go ahead and select all of this and move it back over here like this. So this way it goes straight up, launched. Bam. Okay. So now what happens? So basically I've got these 5 frames super tight. These 5 frames are super tight. Now what about the next ones? So now he's going to transition and rotate around. So I've got blank frames. I'm going to count the blank frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blank frames. So let's come over here and do 6 blank frames in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we got a landing pattern I've got to deal with. So 6 blank frames here. Now I've got 3 blank frames on the next set. So let's see what's going on here. Now I'm going to need to give myself some more time. So I'm going to grab frame 70 and move it all the way to 130. Right? So this way I'm moving time. Alright, so next pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move this back 1 frame. There we go. So I'm holding these 2 frames in the recovery. Okay, let's go get that recovery time in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frame recovery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's see what's going on over here. Oh, that's right. I basically took his plant pose. Let's go ahead and make it the same pose. And I logged his feet for 2 steps prior. And it looks like I also combined up these 2 frames as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, okay, there's my 3 frames there. I'm going to move this over 2 frames, 1, 2. I'm going to take his feet here, and I'm going to put them on the ground. Like this. And there he is. There's my second punch animation. Let's go to frame 70 and test it out and see what it looks like. Okay, so now I have a transition from, here's my window of opportunity. Alright, so I've pressed my button during that window of opportunity. And he sticks here. Now, will there be a window of opportunity from here to here? It could be. So let's just go ahead and log that. And now he's burst, and this is all recovery. So let's fix this floppy arm. Let's just move it like this. And that's that. And I could clench his fists a little bit, like over here. It might look kind of cool. So this is just adding some secondary animation. So I've got his clench here. All right. Let's hit play. Okay. And there we go. And that's his animation. All right. So let's go ahead and export this out. File, export. Attack 2. So attack 2 is going to be called 01. Hit save. Advanced options. Let's go to units. Make sure automatic is off. Animation is on. And smoothing groups is good. Okay. That, my friends, is the other attack. Now, in the next video, I'm going to do one final check and make sure I don't have any other animation to export. I think I'm actually good. And then we'll move into how to import this stuff in from Unity.